Today on Crazy Car Projects, we try to fix the vehicle starter not working, which is most often this starter solenoid, which is always on the fender. Sometimes it's as simple as these lines corroding, which these were good. So you can see they're not too corroded up like they do tend to. You can normally tell from the screw they'll be all green. And they're not this time.
This is, of course, on his 1978 Jeep Cherokee.
But this is pretty consistent for the large bodies until some of the last of the Chrysler ones in the late 80s, early 90s. And to tell you the truth, I think both the 91 Grand Wagoneers I had, I think still had that thing. So they probably all had it till they quit making these big bodies.
Do you want to flex a little bit and talk about the engine?
Oh, just 360 V8 with the Edelbrock performance build. Not my choice to do Edelbrock, not a sponsor. I would have done a different build, but it went to a performance shop and they were an Edelbrock performance shop, so that wasn't my. I didn't do that money spin. That was family that did that. And it's a great engine build, I'll say that. It runs beautifully. But it's still a Jeep, so it still has Jeep electronic issues. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'll demonstrate that it doesn't start up. Turn the key, nothing. Now, oh, I forgot to turn the battery on, so it's definitely not going to do anything. Which I got to pull the radio. There's an old radio in there that someone took the faceplate off before I ever bought it, and it drains the battery. So that will come out in a future video, and I'm going to try to put a power charger station on there. But yep, brake light comes on, but no start. And the fact that the brake light comes on is a good sign that this switch still works in here.
Did you show that off?
Yeah, you see, I turn the key and the brake light comes on. That's a good sign that this is still working. So there's a good odds are it is the solenoid. Turn that back off. There's something I'm going to try first because this is probably on right, but this actually looks like it's reverse wired, which is probably in the right order. It's just the fact that what connector they got. But I'm going to try turning this around, make sure that doesn't fix it. Because you never know.
Don't set the car on fire.
Again.
This one I haven't set on fire before.
Yes, he has. All right. Flamed out.
No, it was a different one. It's the one sitting in the woods at my parents' farm that I set on fire before. Nope, didn't fix it.
Although, I think you got a nice puff of smoke there.
Well, then it was wired right the first time. So, we will change this. This one, which these come with bolts, this still has the slides, so I'll take these off. And go ahead and do this the right way here. Oh, dielectric grease so they don't corrode up. And Jeeps are why I use so much dielectric grease. Because if you use this on these ends, they don't give you so much trouble. Because half the problem with Jeep wiring is it gets moisture in it and it corrodes and quits working. So doing this stuff takes care of that problem. Yes, that's a technical technique. You just stick the whole tube on it. It works. But I'm just setting these first so I don't get these in the wrong order because this is counterintuitive because it's kind of backwards. You know, I wonder if I can turn this whole sucker around, but then I'd have to switch these wires around. Actually, that would be easier if I sit. I'm going to do that. I'm going to turn this sucker around like this because this is how I'm used to seeing them. And this one's just on that way, and it's the way it's always on. It don't mean it was turned around. And that way, the battery terminal, instead of over here, is over here. Starter terminal is over here, so that's just going to be simpler. And it puts those in the right direction. That, and I've got that ready and set out of the way. And then I got to get wrenches. And I'd give sizes, but the odds are they're not going to match because everything's been changed 4 or 5 times.
All right. So we'll come back, and the next part you'll see is either this disconnected or either that disconnected or this on fire. One of those two things will occur within the next 3 seconds.
It should be. I'm getting the standard one. I'll go on and give you standard sizings. Because 7/16. You want, well, I don't need 2 of them. But 7/16 is a good one to grab. 9/16 is a good one to grab. 1/2 inch. Good one to grab. That's 3/8. That's not even in the right spot. Okay. These are out of order, but yeah, 1/2 inch. I got to find a 1/2 inch one, but 9/16, 7/16, 3/8, and 1/2 inch. If I can find where the 1/2 inch has gone to.
No, you are not the only one that goes through this. He goes through this too all the time.
And those generally are going to get you the right size. Not all the time, but on these older ones, for the smaller bolts, the other sizes you'll need are 5/8 is a common size on this. I said 9/16 already, didn't I?
Yeah.
You'll get some 3/4 inch.
Anyway, we'll catch
That's
you.
1/2 inch there.
We'll catch you back when this is off.
Something else on this that I will recommend is clean this up and do dielectric grease on this too, because I don't know if this is officially supposed to ground to the fender, but I've noticed that when these get badly corroded, sometimes these things fail, and I don't know if it has a direct relation to it or not because I'm not an electrician. But I've just found that they last longer when you stop that from happening. I got this back, and I kind of see why they had turned it the other way. The reason why they turned this around is this hose is actually a little too short. I was able to get it to clear so it's not rubbing, but that hose is just a hair too short because it's supposed to run that way. Which I would have just made it shorter and just had it come over this way and under this one and around. That way it's not touching anything, but it's fine. It's not kinked. It's just, well, it's not kinked any bad, so it should be all right. For now, anyways. All right, let's see if it works.
To quote Vice Grip Garage, bring the thunder.
Battery on.
Okay. To quote Vice Grip Garage, bring the thunder.
It's working.
Let's hear it, Ron. Come on.
That's easier said than done. It's been sitting.
All right, don't kill us. We have garage door closed. Don't kill us. Shut the engine off.
I'm going to open the door anyway. That's why I was not wanting to start it. Because the first start, it belches. First start is always a little belchy because it floods when you first start it, and then it runs beautifully.
Yep. Well, I figured y'all want some AMC engine. I wouldn't call it pornography, but what would you call it?
I don't know. I can't come up with anything better.
Okay. So, does that do this one?
That's it for this. This is normally quick, easy. Like I said, if it won't start and you got lights on the dash, well, I can't say that because half the time the lights on the dash don't work because the gauge cluster doesn't work. But if it doesn't start, first cheap, easy thing to do is get another one of these and replace it. The one I bought was actually only $10. I will get another high quality one to have in here for when that one burns out. Probably about a year. But yeah, that's it. It's a cheap, easy fix, and you can get those for $10. You can get a nice one for about $30. And that's really it for this one. Like, share, subscribe. Solenoid, I can give you the solenoid point from this cheap box.
Yep.
And this one doesn't have anything on it to identify it. But they're all pretty similar. In all truthfulness, most of them will get it started. This may not last long if they're not the right ones.
Beauty of older AMC Jeeps.
Mm-hmm. And they may be in different spots. Most of them are on the passenger side. I've owned two that this was reversed. This is the ignition computer. And that's starter solenoid. And I've had Grand Wagoneers. That is over here, and this is over there.
So the ignition computer is where the starter solenoid is.
The starter solenoid was where the computer
and vice
was.
versa. That's why you have a vice versa.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Until next time, this has been Craig's Garage Project. Like, share, subscribe. Bug somebody with it. If you know someone that's got an older vehicle, Jeeps weren't the only ones that had these. And that's a very common reason why if you turn the key, nothing happens.
So 70s, 60s, 70s?
60s. I'm not sure when they started using those. They've been around they were around and used for quite a while. You had vehicles, I think they quit using them in the 90s on the last of the vehicles that used them.
Okay.
But they were carbureted vehicles, so.
Yeah.
Until next time, have a good one.